The state has a tremendous debt service right now. I think 24% of our budget is on debt service because there's been so much borrowing, which makes it very difficult to find ways to be smart on the spending. But I think that's part of what we have to do is we have to look at how the state is spending, where they're spending, and make harder decisions. I mean, maybe you don't spend the money on a stadium in Hartford. You know, maybe that's not smart spending. Yes. Maybe there would be a different way to address those issues. And I'm not into the budget yet, but I imagine that if that's where I am, that's the kind of look that I would be giving to the budget is what do we really need to spend? We need to take it down to a zero-based budget or as close as we can and make some value judgments. What is it really important that we have to do? We really have to take care of the infrastructure, whether it's roads, and buses, whether it's public transportation, because certainly that's ultimately the most cost-effective and environmental way, or schools are important. You know, going back to infrastructure. Do we want to get invested into a technological infrastructure so that we draw businesses into the state that aren't industry-based but are technology-based? I mean, we've got New York on one side and Boston on the other side. Perhaps we can become a technology hub because we're right there in the middle. But we have to have the structure there to support it. You know, education is something we would support. You know, what are the other things that are really important? Or libraries, something that we want to support, you know, and you have to make a value judgment. Where is your money being spent? Is it being spent in an efficacious way, or are you wasting it on something? Are there programs that we've been spending on for year after year that don't do a good job at what they need to be doing? Is there another way to do it better? And we have to look at all of those things if we want to be able to manage this budget. You know, we don't want to push any more businesses out of the state. We want to draw them in. But in order to do that, we have to be really smart about where we receive our money and how we spend it, meaning where we receive. We have property tax, we have real estate tax, we have personal property tax, we have income tax, we have sales tax, we have business use taxes. I mean, and if you're like me, you've got a borough tax on top of that all in the center of Litchfield. So there are so many ways that we're gathering money. We need to look at how we're structuring it. Is it really the best way to do it? Is it friendly to bring people in, or is it pushing it out? Do we want to bring young people to the state? Can we tie the education that we're delivering to feeding the businesses here so that we're providing the needs for the businesses and incentives for students to stay in the state, to grow the state? I mean, those are the kinds of things that we have to really begin to focus on if we want to make the state successful. In terms of education, it's one of the best places to live. In terms of quality of life, it's one of the best places to live. This state's got so much going for it. We just have some issues that we need to begin to address more completely.